The dusty blue Mustang sat forgotten in the corner of the warehouse, hidden beneath years of neglect and silence. Its tires were flat. Its paint had faded. Cobwebs stretched across the mirrors like delicate memories nobody wanted to touch. To everyone else, it was just an old car. But to Vivienne Hart, one of the youngest CEOs in the state, it was something far more painful. It was the last thing her father had left behind. Before we begin this emotional journey, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Beyond Single Dad if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of human connection. Your support helps bring more inspiring stories to life. The morning sunlight poured through the tall warehouse windows, creating long golden streaks across the concrete floor. Vivienne stood near the entrance, dressed in a tailored cream suit, staring everywhere except at the car. She had spent years building Hart Innovations into a billion-dollar company. Investors admired her. Employees respected her. Business magazines celebrated her success. Yet despite all her achievements, there was one thing she could never conquer. The grief she carried for her father. 40 years earlier, Samuel Hart had purchased that Mustang with dreams larger than his paycheck. He was a mechanic who worked long hours and came home with grease-stained hands but a smile that made every sacrifice seem worthwhile. For young Vivienne, the car wasn't transportation. It was childhood road trips, summer sunsets, and memories of laughter echoing through open windows. Then tragedy arrived unexpectedly. Samuel suffered a sudden heart attack before he could restore the vehicle completely. The Mustang remained unfinished. Just like many of the dreams he had shared with his daughter. After his death, Vivienne locked the car away. Looking at it hurt too much. Every dent reminded her of a promise interrupted. Every scratch felt like a wound that never healed. Years passed. The warehouse became storage space for old company equipment, forgotten furniture, and countless boxes. Yet the Mustang remained untouched, frozen in time like a photograph nobody wanted to develop. One bright afternoon, the company hired a maintenance contractor named Rowan Pierce. Rowan was a single father raising his 8-year-old daughter, Maisie. Life had not been easy for him. His wife had passed away years earlier, leaving him to balance work, parenting, and endless responsibilities. Despite the challenges, Rowan carried a quiet warmth that made people trust him instantly. While repairing electrical systems in the warehouse, Rowan discovered the old Mustang. Something about it captured his attention. Unlike others who saw rust and dust, he saw potential. Over the following weeks, he found himself returning during lunch breaks, carefully cleaning sections of the vehicle. He wasn't trying to restore it fully. He simply felt the car deserved dignity. One day, Vivienne unexpectedly entered the warehouse and noticed the cleaned hood. Her heart immediately tightened. For a moment, anger rose inside her. That car was private. Sacred. Untouchable. Yet when she saw Rowan gently wiping dust from the chrome emblem, something stopped her. He wasn't treating it like junk. He was treating it like a memory. As days turned into months, Rowan continued caring for the Mustang whenever spare moments appeared. Sometimes his daughter accompanied him after school. Maisie would sit nearby reading books while her father worked. The warehouse slowly transformed from a place of abandonment into a place of quiet healing. Vivienne observed from a distance. She never joined them. But she watched. She noticed how Rowan spoke about hard work. How he encouraged Maisie to never give up when things seemed impossible. How father and daughter laughed together despite carrying their own grief. For the first time in years, Vivienne found herself thinking about her father without immediately turning away from the pain. Then one afternoon, Rowan discovered an old envelope hidden inside the glove compartment. Inside was a handwritten note. Samuel Hart's handwriting filled the yellowed page. The words weren't about business or money. They were about his daughter. He wrote about how proud he was of Vivienne's determination. He wrote that he hoped she would never let fear keep her from moving forward. Most importantly, he wrote that one day he hoped the Mustang would run again because dreams should never stay parked forever. When Vivienne read the letter, tears blurred the ink. The warehouse fell silent except for the distant sound of birds outside. For years she believed preserving the car untouched honored her father. Now she realized she had been preserving her pain instead. The note changed everything. Over the next several weeks, Rowan worked tirelessly on the vehicle. He spent evenings researching rare parts. He used personal savings to replace small components. Employees volunteered to help. What began as one man's act of kindness became a community effort. The entire company quietly rallied around the forgotten Mustang. Finally, a bright spring morning arrived. The restoration wasn't perfect. There were still imperfections. But somehow that made it beautiful. The car looked alive again. Employees gathered around the warehouse entrance as sunlight reflected from the polished blue paint. Vivienne stood trembling nearby, unable to speak. Rowan slid into the driver's seat. For several seconds, nothing happened. Then came the first turn of the key. Silence. A second attempt. Still nothing. The crowd exchanged nervous glances. Then Rowan tried one final time. A deep rumble suddenly echoed through the warehouse. The engine roared to life. The sound filled every corner of the building. It was loud. Powerful. Alive. Vivienne covered her mouth as tears streamed down her cheeks. For a brief moment, she could almost see her father standing beside the car, smiling proudly as he always had. The Mustang wasn't merely running. A piece of her heart had started again too. As the engine continued humming, years of grief seemed to loosen their grip. Vivienne realized that healing didn't mean forgetting. It meant carrying love forward instead of carrying pain alone. That evening, she took the Mustang for its first drive in decades. The road stretched beneath a golden daytime sky while warm sunlight painted the horizon. Wind rushed through the open windows. Memories flowed freely, but this time they brought comfort rather than sorrow. She finally understood what her father had wanted for her all along. Not perfection. Not success. Simply the courage to keep moving forward. Before we reach the end, if this story has touched your heart in any way, please take a moment to like, comment, and share this video. Your engagement helps meaningful stories reach people who may need hope today. Special request, comment below with the words, "Dreams should never stay parked," if you believe love and kindness can bring forgotten hopes back to life. Months later, Vivienne established a scholarship in her father's name for children of single parents pursuing technical careers. Rowan became the program's first director. Together, they transformed loss into opportunity and grief into purpose. And every year, on a sunny spring afternoon, the blue Mustang rolled out of the warehouse and onto the open road. Not as a reminder of what had been lost, but as proof that some dreams wait patiently for the right person to help them start again. And sometimes, all it takes is one kind-hearted single dad to turn the key.